Welcome to the TalentGrow Show, where you can get actionable, results-oriented insight and advice on how to take your leadership, communication, and people skills to the next level and become the kind of leader people want to follow. And now, your host and leadership development strategist, Halelly Azulay.
Hey there, talent growers. It's time for another super short and highly informative Ask Halelly episode of the TalentGrow Show, where I answer a question from a podcast listener, a learner in one of my workshops, a member of the audience at one of my conference speaking events, or a member of the media. I'm Halelly Azulay, your leadership development strategist here at TalentGrow, where developing leaders is my jam. Are you ready for the question? Here we go. What's a way that I might be sabotaging myself at the office without even realizing it? And so, of course, there's a million ways, and I don't really know about the specifics of the situation. But if I were to tell you something that I think is common and is a big mistake, I would say that's saying yes too much. That's right. You say yes too much, you're creating a big problem for yourself. Now, lots of us are people pleasers. We want to make people happy. We want to say yes to them, or we're scared to say no because we're worried that it might create conflict. We're worried that the person might become upset with us. We're worried that they're going to not come to us again. It's going to come back to haunt us if we decline or if we push back on our request when we're already fully booked with work. Maybe we'll be seen as a poor team player, or maybe we'll be passed up for a great opportunity later down the road. So we say yes to everything we're asked to do, even when we know we just can't get it done because of prior commitments. Now, if you're guilty of this kind of behavior, I really hope you're going to think about it again and stop it. You need to recognize that it might be sabotaging you in more than one way. First, right now, you're going to say yes to something you can't take on, and now you're going to find yourself with the impossible task of doing more than is feasible in the time that's available. That means that eventually you're going to be faced with the choice of letting something slip or of doing things in a half-hearted way and completing all of the things you have to do in a way that's less than stellar. But it's also going to come back to haunt you in another way, a little bit more insidious than that. You are training other people to give you more work. You're training them that by you saying yes when they delegate something to you, that they should keep it up, that you're always open, that you never push back. And so with your overly accommodating behavior, you're teaching others that it's okay to overload you, even if that's not their intention. So in this way, you're actually creating a vicious cycle that's going to become even more ingrained and harder to stop later if you keep doing this. So I hope that you'll think about this and recognize that sometimes you need to say no or you need to push back. And there are ways to do that without all of the negative ramifications. And I can talk about that in another show. But the bottom line is you need to protect yourself and your quality of your work and your sanity and your level of stress and the brand of who you are and what you do and what you produce. Because by saying yes in an effort to be seen as a great member of the team, you actually might create the kind of brand you're trying to avoid creating in the first place. So I'd love to know what you thought about this topic and what you thought about my answer. Are there other ways that people typically sabotage themselves in the office? What would you add? And would you like to be another questioner on a future Ask Halelly episode? It's so easy. All you have to do is use the voice messaging widget that's right there on my website, on every single page of my website on the upper right-hand corner, and just record a short message. And then with your permission, I can actually use your voice at a future Ask Halelly episode of the TalentGrow Show. But of course, you can also send me an email or fill out a contact us form on my website or comment on any of my previous podcasts like this one or tweet at me, whatever you want. Just ask away, okay? And then, of course, if there are people or topics you'd like me to cover in a future episode where I interview someone, then let me know. So you can read the transcript of this and every episode, along with the links to any resources we mentioned over on my website on the podcast tab there. Just go to talentgrow.com. You'll find it pretty easily. And while you're there, be sure to grab my free download called The 10 Mistakes That Leaders Make and How to Avoid Them. And that way you can avoid messing up and being the kind of crappy leader people hate to follow. We don't want that. So are you making some of those mistakes? You can find out in that tool. It's free. And by downloading it, you'll also start getting my short, fun weekly updates. So you'll never miss another episode of the show. All right. Well, that's another Ask Halelly episode. I'm Halelly Azulay, your leadership development strategist here at TalentGrow. I do thank you for listening. And until the next time, make today great.
Thanks for listening to the TalentGrow Show, where we help you develop your talent to become the kind of leader that people want to follow. For more information, visit talentgrow.com.